Good morning, this is the Breville Oracle model BES980 in black truffle. As you saw in the photos, this is a used machine in very good condition. Mainly around the front you've got light scratches on this chrome panel, a couple of nicks, few nicks, maybe a bit around the back, but just standard wear and tear, nothing too bad if I'm being honest. No major scratches or dents actually, or no dents at all, if I can tell. As far as I can tell, around the side and on the front and on the back, and it's been fully refurbished. So, new rubber rings or O-ring seals on all the boilers, on both boilers, new water probes, and I've done full cleaning, full pressure test, flush cycle, everything, and it's in great working condition now. We'll be making a latte, my morning latte actually. So. Testing all the features hopefully and teaching you how to make coffee if this was your first coffee machine. So when you first turn it on from cold, it usually takes about 5 minutes for everything to be ready to go. But you can program it to wake up or start up at a certain time. It's 4:45 now. I've already set the clock, and I've told it to wake up at 4:15 a.m. So that's great. So you can put it to turn on, you tell it to turn on 10 minutes before you wake up, and by the time you're on, it's nice and warm. So you can kind of use it right away. You can. But one thing I like to do is to run a blank shot. Even if the machine has been on for 5 or 10, 20 minutes, I like to run a blank shot. Firstly, it'll warm up your cup. If you put your cup on top, it'll get warm but not hot. The top plate is metal and it gets heat that radiates from the boilers, whereas if you warm the cup by a blank shot, it'll get nice and hot. So to do a blank shot, lock in the handle. It's empty, of course. Put your cup underneath and press the single. It's gonna give you hot water. It'll warm things pretty quickly. You can stop it at 20 seconds, that's fine. And another advantage of this cleaning sort of blank shot is that it cleans as well, not just warming up the machine, but also if there's any coffee grounds in the shower screen or the portafilter, this will clean them up pretty nicely. I'm just filling my jug with milk so that we can test the frother as well. That way. Once that's done, grab your portafilter and grab a tissue and dry it. You want to use a dry portafilter. It won't tamp properly if it's wet. You'll get clumps in the coffee. So make sure it's dry. This is a double basket. Takes about 18 to 20 grams of coffee. I would say 20. I'm going to use my scale. This is an automatic machine, right? So usually it's very easy. Well, it is very easy to use, and you don't have to use a scale or be very super accurate about things. But I'm going to use a scale anyway, just for your interest, in case you wanted to know what the quantities that go in and out are like. So yeah, usually it's about 20 grams into the handle, and the important thing is that we want to measure the output, or at least have a rough idea. If it's like, 40 grams or 80 grams, that's going to make a big difference to the taste. Just going to add some beans. Hopefully we have enough. Should be fine, I think. But I've got a bit more if that doesn't help. Lock it in. It's at grind size 25. I made a coffee at 18 a few days ago. It was a bit too slow at 18 grind size, so 25 should be quicker. So get rid of the first dose. has enough beans. Great. Once it's done, you may get a bit of loose coffee around the edges or just floating in the middle. Just clean that away. Here's what it looks like. A nicely tamped surface. Yeah, like I said, there's usually a bit of loose coffee. You can just ignore that. Let's see, that is 18 grams. So that's good. I think when you go finer grind size, it'll pack more coffee in there. So now this is 18 grams. And if we make a coffee, we'll see that it's gonna be faster than well, you don't remember what I did, but when I did it, it was taking, I think, 45 seconds or 50 seconds to give me a double shot quantity. Or let's say in 30 seconds, they only gave me a little bit. So I had to increase the grind size for that. Let's give it a go. I haven't made a coffee on the grind size 25 yet. If you like to add any sugar or syrups to your coffee, you can do that now before brewing the espresso, so that it mixes nicely as it comes down. Great. And then, yeah, once you lock in the portafilter, lock it in the middle, or maybe just a little bit to the right. It needs to be tight, not overly tight, but tight enough so it doesn't slip. Let's see what we get. I have no idea what's going to happen. Maybe it'll be quick, maybe it'll be perfect. It looks like it's a little bit quick. So that tells me... Okay, so grind size 18 was too fine, grind size 25 is too large. That tells me that the sweet spot is probably at 22, 21, 22, something like that. So that was 17 seconds. And what's double of 18? 36? This is 38 grams. I can show you what it looks like. It's probably going to taste a bit off, because it's running quicker. You'll notice things like more acidity or a bit weaker. But I would still drink this. I wouldn't chuck it in the bin. Especially if you're making a latte or like an Americano, usually you don't notice the differences. If you add any sugar or if you add milk to your coffee, you don't notice the niche, like, particularities about the coffee. But if I were to do this again, using the same beans, I would do 22. I won't do this again because when you get the machine, you'll have different beans, you'll get different results. So even if I spend more time and waste this coffee, spend more time doing another coffee, once you get the machine, you may get even different results if you use a different brand of beans. Yeah, so think of the grind size sort of as flow speed. So if you go really fine, it'll slow down the flow. You'll get less coffee in that 30-second brew time. If you grind really large, it'll give you a lot of coffee. So yeah, that's one way to think about it. And you want to aim for that 36 gram mark. I'm familiar, I usually eyeball it. It's usually halfway between the bottom and the black part. That's usually 36 grams, so in this case we got 38. I'm used to it. You don't have to use a scale every single time. You can just, again, estimate it by eye. You just have to know, it's like, is this 40 grams or is this 400 grams? You're not going to get 400 grams, but yeah. Knock the coffee off. Press the single, this time it's going to flush. And of course it's a double boiler, so you always have steam available. But I chose to do the coffee and milk separately in the video so we can focus on different things. If you want to save time, you do them both at the same time, or you can start the milk while you do the cleaning, so that once the milk is finished, you're done cleaning. That would be pretty efficient to do. And every now and then it would be nice to grab a brush or a tissue and wipe the group head. And then you can store the portafilter like that so it can dry, and the group head can dry as well. Some people like to keep it on if you're making another coffee soon after, or if you want the machine to be nice and hot with the portafilter, next time you turn it on, keep the portafilter locked in. But a blank shot should be more than enough to warm it up. Or you can lock in the portafilter before you turn it on, and then turn it on. It's up to you. Right, coffee done. Let's do the milk. I've got my jug filled with cold milk about... Oh, this is your jug actually, not mine. Just between... Actually just above the minimum. So just about here. You can see from that condensation line. I can add a bit more actually. Yeah, I'll add a bit more milk. So yeah, using cold milk will help you get a good froth. If you use warm milk or like room temperature milk, it won't froth as long. Of course, you won't be steaming for as long because it's already hotter than a cold milk from the fridge. Anyhow, before you steam, just purge. It's gonna get rid of the any water condensation on the inside, and then I'm gonna put it on the maximum froth settings so just you can know what the maximum potential of this machine is. You can always dial it down. You can go to a latte. A latte will give you a colder drink, a flatter drink. Cappuccino will give you a very frothy drink. I'll put it on the maximum so you can test everything to its maximum potential. And 60 degrees, that's where I like my coffee temperature. You can go all the way to 70, I believe, 75 maybe. Press down for automatic setting. If you hold the wand up, you can use the manual setting and froth like a barista. So you pull it up and then pull the lever up, and that's going to put it in manual mode. You can just hold the jug to whatever angle you'd like, spin the milk, give it froth like a barista would do. It's warming up the milk, it's giving it that aerated texture, which we asked it to do. For a cappuccino, it's usually a thick foam. Yeah, it's really giving me a lot of foam. We might have to dial that back if you want a latte. So maybe I should label this video Cappuccino on the Breville Oracle BTR. Yeah, that's a lot of foam. Once it's done, or before it's done I guess, make sure you have a wet towel ready so that you can wipe the wand straight away. It will drip, it will make a mess if you don't clean it off right away, and it will harden and be really difficult to clean. So take it off, let it drip for a couple seconds, and then wipe it off. It will wipe clean off if you do that once or twice. Wipes right off. Yeah, if you have the wet towel. If you use a dry towel or a tissue, it won't be great. And make sure you get the bottom edge, this here around the sensor. A lot of people neglect that, and milk will slowly build over time. I'm doing it very slowly so you can see what I'm doing, but usually this is quicker. Once you push it down, it will purge. It will pulse the pump 5 times, or the steam 5 times to clean the inside. And then just wipe that off as well. So a bit of steam will get on the tray. That's fine. I like to give it one more, just to forgive me that. And that's done. Here's my milk. Like I said, quite a thick foam that we got. Knock the jug on the counter to break any big air bubbles. So no latte art for me today. It's a cappuccino. It's really hard to do latte art on cappuccino foam. I've got a very thick amount of foam. It's about 2 centimeters thick, I would say. Let me show you the final result. I'm sure if you do some practice on the manual mode or even on the automatic setting, if you go down on the froth level, you can get silkier milk. and do some latte art or more beautiful patterns than the blob that I have today. But at least it'll be a good coffee, I would say. The one thing, like I said, we have to decrease the grind size to 22. In fact, I'll clean the grinder, vacuum everything, and then I'll set it to 22 for you. So once you get it, try it 22, see what happens. If you get the right amount of coffee, which is, like I said, between 35 and 40, or let's say 30 and 40 for this machine, it would be acceptable and quite good in the 30 seconds. In my case, I stopped it at 17 seconds because we got 38 in 17 seconds. So if I let it go for the full 30, it would have given me like 50 grams instead of 38. Yeah, hope you enjoy the machine. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate in asking me, and I will see you soon.